So now let's talk about how to write the equation of a line from a graph. There's really only two steps that you need to follow. You need to know the slope and you need to find the y-intercept. Once you have the slope and the y-intercept, you can use slope-intercept form to write the equation of that line. Now remember, you don't have to memorize this formula. It's on your formula chart. Y equals mx plus b. What you do need to know is that m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay, so let's take a look at the line we have here. I am going to choose some pretty points on here to find my slope. Let's see, this one's pretty, and that one's pretty, and you know what, this one is too. So what do you think makes these points so pretty? Well, it's that they are right at the intersection of some whole number coordinates. I don't have to try to guess what decimal value those coordinates might be. So these are points that are easier to work with. You can use the slope formula if you want. I know a lot of you like to draw an L to see your slope, and that's a great strategy. So let's look at both of those strategies. If I draw my L, I can see that my rise is -5. I'm going down -5. I'm going down 5. And I can see that my run is 2. So every time I go down 5, I go over 2. So my rise over run is -5 over 2. And for people who are visual, that's a great strategy to use. We also have the slope formula that we can use. And you do not need to memorize it because it's on your formula chart. Here it is. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you know what? If you're using the slope formula, you don't even need pretty points. I think I'm just going to use the 2 points that they gave me. Why not? They marked 2 points on this graph for me. I'm not picky. They look like good points. Let me label them. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Now, if I apply this formula correctly, I should get -5 over 2 again. Let's try it out. So Y2 is -7.5. and y1 is 5. That's y2 minus y1. x2 is 1, and x1 is -4. So I have 1 minus -4. Now you could just go ahead and type that in your calculator. I'm just going to do a little simple arithmetic here. And I can see that that's -12.5 over 5. I am going to want to simplify that a little bit. At first glance, it doesn't look like it's the same as -5 over 2. I think I'm actually going to make it bigger before I make it smaller, which might seem strange, but bear with me. Watch this. I'm going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2. And now I've got -25 over 10. Still not exactly the same, but let me take a look and see some common factors that I have in my numerator and my denominator. I notice they're both divisible by 5. Let's see, -25 divided by 5 is -5. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. So they are the same, and your calculator would have told you that too. So if you typed that in your calculator, you would have gotten the same result, whether you used the L or whether you used the slope formula. There's other ways to verify that those ratios are the same. The important thing is that you know that they are, and that you know that your slope is -5 over 2. Now let's talk about our intercept, our y-intercept. Now for the y-intercept, what I want you to do is highlight that y-axis, because that's what we're looking for, the point where the line crosses the y-axis. And we've spent some time talking about these. So it's right there. That highlighting makes it really easy to see that our y-intercept is -5. Okay, now we have all the information that we need to write the equation of our line. Let me clear up some space here, and we can write y equals -5/2 x minus 5. Now, some of you might be thinking, Miss, mine said -2.5x minus 5. That's okay. Those are the same thing. That's 2 different ways of writing the same equation. And the reason is because -5 divided by 2 is equal to -2.5. Okay, so we really just had 2 steps. Our 2 steps, we found the slope, We found the y-intercept, and then we used those to write an equation in slope-intercept form. Let's use those same 2 steps on the next problem. Okay, so remember, we need to find the slope, we need to find the y-intercept, and then we're going to use those 2 pieces of information to write the equation of our line, and it should look like this. Y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. All right, let's get this slope. I'm going to start with my slope formula this time. Let me label my points, x1, y1, x2, y2. So when I substitute my values in here, I'm going to have 1 minus negative 5 for my y's, and I'm going to have 6 minus negative 6 for my x's. 1 minus negative 5 is 6, and 6 minus negative 6 is 12. So 6 over 12 is my slope. I'm going to rewrite it as 1/2. Now let's talk about where we could see that visually on our graph. One place I could see it is here. My rise goes up 6. My run goes over 12. That's where I could see 6 over 12. Another place I could see it is here. Up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So I could use this series of smaller steps to arrive at the same place. That's because those are equivalent fractions. 6/12 is the same thing as 1/2. So whichever way you see it, you're going to see that your slope is equal to 1/2. And there's multiple ways to visualize that on the graph. Now let's look at our y-intercept. So I'm going to highlight my y-axis. Then it's very easy to see that my y-intercept is at -2. So now we can write y equals 1/2 x minus 2. Maybe some of y'all wrote it this way. If you did, that's totally okay. These are both great ways to write the equation of this line. Now there's 2 examples for you to look at on your own. So when you stop the video, you're going to have a chance for a little bit of practice.